Everybody, thank you so much for coming back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about The Hitman's Bodyguard. As you guys can see from the thumbnail and the title, I am joined in this video by I'll Buy the Popcorn, my buddy Stephanie from her channel I'll Buy the Popcorn, who does all kinds of things like rankings, movie reviews, and all sorts of things over on her channel. We're going to hear from her very shortly. This is the first time she's collabing here on this channel with me. Thank you for being in this video here with me. Definitely excited to hear your thoughts. I definitely enjoyed hearing your thoughts, and you guys can find a link to her channel down below in the description box, and we're going to hear from her in just one moment to talk about this movie starring Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, playing Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. They pretty much in this movie, yeah, just play like, you know, the versions of them that we expect to see. This isn't some deep character study or deep character film where they're giving characters that are very different from what we've seen them do before. This is very much that very quippy, quick kind of role that Ryan Reynolds plays, where he's very funny, very sarcastic, and all that jazz. And then you have Samuel L. Jackson playing the very cocky, constantly saying motherfucker, confident kind of badass character that he's used to playing. And the two of them have great chemistry. They're two fantastic actors that are super, super likable and have tons of charisma. So right out of the gate, you have a great cast that is very, very likable with the main stars in the film. You also have people like Salma Hayek in this film, who is also really, really funny. I really enjoy her part in this movie. And yeah, on an overall level, I enjoyed this film. I was working at the movie theaters. I was working at Cinemark at the time when this movie came out, and I meant to see it, but then I just missed it, and it wasn't doing too well in the box office, at least not at my theater, and they ended up moving it on, taking it out of the theater, and I was getting free movies at the time, so I wasn't really looking to go and spend money at a different theater just to see this movie. It wasn't calling to me that much, but I did enjoy it when I finally got to check it out. My girlfriend had seen it long before me. She actually saw it in theaters, and she really, really enjoyed it. So she's the main reason that we ended up getting it on Blu-ray, and I enjoyed it. I'm glad to have it in my collection. Now, my biggest issue with this film was that it's just a little bit forgettable, and Stephanie actually says something a little bit similar later on. This movie is enjoyable. I do like it, and I think it's a fun ride while you're watching it. But like I just mentioned, it's a bit forgettable. I think when you move on and start watching other things, it's not something that you'll be clamoring to go back and rewatch. Now, I think if you have some friends over and you're just looking to put on a fun action comedy, buddy cop-esque film, I think this film definitely suits that role, and it is fun to watch in that kind of situation. But yeah, it's not a film that I found myself really gripped into. I just found myself enjoying the ride and having a good few laughs with these characters and these actors. Now, the basic premise of this film is that you have Ryan Reynolds' character who plays this bodyguard, and at the beginning of this film, when we first meet him, he's kind of down on his luck. His career is not necessarily in the best place, and that's because of the fact that he ended up losing somebody on his watch. Him and his bodyguard entourage were taking this client down to a private airstrip or something like that. The guy's waving at him through the window, and he feels like he's finally succeeded. He got the guy to safety, and when the guy pokes his head through the little airplane window to wave at Ryan Reynolds, he ends up getting shot in the head, and the person who shot him was the Hitman, played by Samuel L. Jackson. So right out of the gate, you have those two who hate each other. There's a lot of animosity between the two of them, obviously more from Ryan Reynolds to Samuel L. Jackson's character. And in this film, essentially, the Hitman, played by Samuel L. Jackson, has information that would help bring the big bad, played by Gary Oldman, down, and so they need to get him to a courthouse, to a court hearing, so that he can testify and get this guy put away in prison. And so now in this film, Ryan Reynolds has to come out of retirement because he's not necessarily doing the same bodyguard work, and actually take Samuel L. Jackson's character to the courthouse, get him there in order for him to testify and bring down Gary Oldman's character. And in the midst, you have this just crazy adventure with these two characters that hate each other. Samuel L. Jackson wants to do his own thing, doesn't really want to listen or help Ryan Reynolds, but then Ryan Reynolds is doing it because it's kind of his duty, and there's a girl involved in the whole thing. And yeah, that's basically the premise. Get Samuel L. Jackson's character to the courthouse by the time that that case is going down, and so that he can testify and put Gary Oldman's character in prison. And the reason I just kind of keep brushing over Gary Oldman is because he really didn't have a lot to do in this movie. He's just the bad guy with the accent, and I feel like they underutilized Gary Oldman. I almost forgot he was in this movie. That's genuinely part of the issue with this movie, is that there's nothing about it outside of the funny one-liners, and it's just like a fun watch. It's fun to watch in and of itself while you're watching it, because you have these very charismatic actors Some great practical effects, some great action sequences. There's a lot about the film that was very exciting. I just don't think it's one of those films that you're kind of be rushing to rewatch, or when you're sitting down and having movie trivia with people or talking about some of your favorite movies of that year. I don't really think it's a movie that's gonna come up, though I did enjoy it. It's kind of weird for me. I'm trying to find the balance of if I enjoyed it more or if I just find it forgettable. I did enjoy it though. I think on an overall, I do recommend it. I think if you ever checked it out or just seen the cover and thought, hey, maybe I'll pick that up when it's cheap, or maybe I'll watch it on some streaming service if it is on any of them. Yeah, I'd definitely say it's definitely worth checking out at some point. Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, two charismatic actors that do have a lot of chemistry together in this film. So I do think there's a lot of merit for watching this film. I just feel like the film just is a little forgettable. Like characters like Gary Oldman's character, just feel like, why is he in this movie? Now, before I give you guys my final thoughts on this movie, let's go ahead and hear what my friend Stephanie from I'll Buy the Popcorn has to say about this.
Anthony, thank you so much for having me here on your channel. I'm super excited to be part of this collab. It's actually my very first collab video, so I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but to all of Anthony's viewers, my name is Stephanie. I have a little channel called I'll Buy the Popcorn. So I mainly do movie rankings and reviews, whether they be, well, back when we used to go to the theater, video on demand, streaming services. I do focus more on what's currently coming out right now, but in the month of August, I'm actually going to be focusing on like retro reviews, so I'm super excited about that. But enough about me, let's go ahead and get on with my thoughts about The Hitman's Bodyguard, starring Deadpool and Nick Fury. I'm sure you probably heard that a lot when this movie first came out. So I have actually only seen this movie back in 2017 when the movie first came out. Of course, when Anthony assigned it to me, I was like, well, I need to rewatch because I've only seen it once. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't really remember the movie too well. I knew that I saw it and I knew that I wasn't too fond of it. I can go around, I still don't love the movie, but I don't hate it. I never hated the movie, you guys. It's just not very memorable, I feel like. I honestly just saw it like less than a week ago. Pretty much already forgot about the movie. Mind you, while I was watching the movie, it was very enjoyable. I did laugh a lot throughout the movie. I think when I originally saw the movie, I went to a screening. I think I did see this movie in theaters. You know, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson are pretty much, you know, playing like their public version of themselves in this movie. I mean, at this point, honestly, Ryan and Samuel pretty much just play the same character in all the movies that they're in. This is just kind of now the character that we pretty much associate Ryan and Samuel to nowadays. I mean, this is just what we want. We want the sarcastic asshole from Ryan, and we want all the mother effers coming out of Samuel L. Jackson. I really don't remember if you cussed or not in your videos, and I would love to come back, so I'm gonna PG this up. It's a fun, entertaining, like action-packed movie. We have a lot of car chases and explosions and like shootouts. We have a lot of little banter between the two characters. Of course, to spice things up a little bit more, we do have Salma Hayek. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like her scenes are probably the best ones in the film. She kills it. She does play Sonia Kincaid, which is Darius's wife, which is played by Samuel L. Jackson. Honestly, one of my favorite scenes from the movie is when Darius was telling Michael the story of how he first met Sonia. When Salma Hayek actually is getting her own spin-off off of this movie called The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. It was actually supposed to come out this year, but of course, due to COVID, it's being delayed to 2021. And also Gary Oldman comes on in this movie. He is the villain. He's the evil dictator. Now, these are just my quick thoughts about The Hitman's Bodyguard. I think it's a really fun movie, to be honest with you. Again, I don't dislike it, but I don't love the movie. It's just not memorable. But while you are watching it, you have a good time with it. I mean, it delivers what it needs to, but it unfortunately does not stay with you. But I am looking forward to The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I did almost forget to mention that it's almost kind of like a little spoof of The Bodyguard. I mean, even like the poster that they did for the movie. And that was just one of the final things that I wanted to share with you guys, because honestly I almost forgot to share it with you guys. But again, Anthony, thank you so much for having me here on your channel. Again, everybody, my name is Stephanie. Hopefully if you found me interesting, you can go and check me out on my channel. It's called I'll Buy the Popcorn. I'm sure Anthony will link my channel down below. If you guys are new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to Anthony's channel. He does great movie reviews. So with that said, I'll go ahead and send you guys back out to Anthony. Bye.
A big thanks to Stephanie for being here in this video. Loved hearing what you had to say. It looked like for the most part we had pretty similar views on this movie. An entertaining ride with some funny times, but just a little bit forgettable. A movie that isn't necessarily kind of has me clamoring to rewatch it. So yeah, I did enjoy the film. I enjoyed hearing what you had to say about it. Again, you guys can find the link to her channel down below. Go give her some love. Let her know that I sent you. And again, really happy to have you in this video. This is the first of many collabs we'll do. So yeah, guys, The Hitman's Bodyguard, I don't have too much more to say. It's a film that I think where it really thrives, it really thrives. The high points are high. I think that the stuff that goes between Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, the lines of dialogue, the quippy moments, the fun action, and the kind of the relationship throughout the film, I found to be what really kept this film charming and kept it endearing and kind of kept me engaged, was their story more than anything. I didn't really care about them bringing down the big bad. I didn't really care about Salma Hayek's character, even though she was a nice comedic relief throughout the film, and I didn't really care about the plot on an overall. But what I did enjoy was this adventure with these two characters played by two very likable actors. I think they do a good job of playing off of one another, and I had a good time just kind of laughing at the crazy adventures that they went on together and kind of the camaraderie that's built there. You have these two characters that have animosity for each other, one of them who literally hates the other person, and the other guy who hates him but he kind of doesn't really care. He kind of just wants to fuck with him. That's being Samuel Jackson's character towards Ryan Reynolds. You know, he doesn't really care that he pissed him off. And I think throughout the film, being able to see their friendship kind of blossom and bloom throughout the film, and you know, it going from them kind of being tasked to do this thing they have to do to becoming something that they feel like they need to do. I feel like that was definitely the heart of the movie, and I really enjoyed that chemistry between those two actors. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be my thoughts on this movie. I do recommend it, but I don't think it's a movie you need to rush to see. And I think that if you ever catch it, you know, I'm definitely curious to hear what you got to say. Did you find it as forgettable as we did? Did you find it to be a more likable and more memorable film? I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. So hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. Comment your thoughts down below, and as usual, you'll catch me in the next one. Bye-bye.